Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right, welcome back, everybody. I am joined by Andrew Dale. Andrew, so nice to have you with us again. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, Casey. It's great.
Hey,
Thank
can
you.
you refresh the audience a little bit about what you do and your practice, and who is Andrew Dale to the audience in case they never saw your program?
Okay. So I'm a life coach. A life coach helps you realign yourself with your past and your future. So it's a much quicker process than a lot of other processes that do the same thing. The purpose is to really keep you moving, to not spend too much time dwelling, but to spend more time um, dealing with things, past emotions, getting real about things. You know, a lot of us had bullying incidents in the past, but at the same time, we had a lot of friends. And if we forget about the friends and only remember the bullying, that becomes a bad part of our, a sad part of our life.
Yeah.
We have to be real. We have to be honest with ourselves, and find that, hey, we are actually a likable person. We are an amazing person, and it's all about getting down to your truth and your heart, and getting aligned with your heart again, because you were born perfect, and so it's time we got you back there. So,
Gotcha. Now, Andrew, you were talking about the importance of creating a self space. Now, what does that mean to you? Creating a safe space.
okay. So what I find is a lot of people, if they have a lot of dramas going on at work, or they've got a lot of um, trauma within their mind and things going on around them, they tend to carry it around with them. So they take their personal life that's not going so well to work, then they add the drama from work to the personal life, and they just drag it backwards and forwards. And by the end of the week, you're exhausted carrying all this stuff around that's not really serving you.
True.
So some of the things I get people to do is simple exercises. So one of my simplest exercises is I get people just to put their hands out in front of them. And this is amazing. I even amaze myself when this happens. But anyway, I just get them to put their hands out in front of them. I'll take a step back. So you're coming home and there's a tree in the front yard, right? So why not leave your stuff, all the stuff that's all that horrible energy that's not serving you, why not leave it at the tree? If you really need it, it'll be there when you come out in the morning, but why take it into the house? It's not going to serve you there. So what I do is I get people just to stand next to the tree and hold their hands out in front. And this always amazes me. I get them to imagine a spinning ball in their hands and allow that energy, those bad thoughts, that stuff that's not really serving you to spin around in your hands like a big ball, and allow that, as you let your mind go, you'll actually feel the weight in your hands, and your hands will get heavier and heavier, and you'll feel this ball spinning. And all you have to do is, at the end of that exercise, it only takes a couple of minutes, you just literally put it down next to the tree and you leave it outside, and you'll feel quite refreshed when you go into the home. And reality is, by morning it's probably blown away. And you do the same thing at work. It's basically clearing your mind, but it's taking a physical action as well as a mental action, has a real effect. And by clearing your mind, leaving that energy aside, and then getting on with your day, at night it will help you sleep. During the day, it will help you focus on your work. And it's a way of leaving your work at work, leaving and coming home to your kids and grandkids, and being pleasant instead of grumpy sometimes, But yeah, that's one of the ways I get people to do that. Yes.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
And
What about some other ways?
yeah. Well, choosing an area in your house. So when you get up in the morning, um, finding a nice place where you can just sit for 10 minutes and think about 3 things that you're grateful about for the day. So, today it might be your family. Tomorrow you might think about some of the physical things you have in your life. Other times you might think about your grandparents or whatever else. But so start the day in being grateful for 3 things. And then at the end of that, also in that safe space where just have a think about what outcome you want to do for that day. Now, the outcome might be a physical thing. Okay, I've got a project on at work. It's been going on forever. I want to get that project finished today. Or, I'm a school teacher. My outcome for the day is I know if the kids have a great day, they're going to learn. So my whole outcome for the day is I want to make sure the kids have a great day. Mm-hmm. And by having that outcome, as you go through your day, you can check yourself. So every couple of hours, you can go, all right, how am I going on track? I'm getting a bit cranky with the kids. That's not serving me. Take a deep breath. I want to, because the kids will learn better. Kids learn better. Well, everyone learns better when they're in a good mood.
Yeah, of course.
And enjoying themselves. And with the project, if you're still doing the emails for the day, you know that you're not going to finish your project. You're not going to get your outcome. Mm-hmm. So you can make a choice early in the day to say, no, I've got to get this project done. I've got to outsource or do whatever I need to do, but I've got to get on and get my outcome. And by being outcome driven, we do that with our visions and we do that with our daily. So if our vision is by the end of the week to have several projects done which will keep a particular client happy, then we're staying on track, but we're getting drawn to something instead of trying to force something and cram something in late in the day. So it's just turning your behavior around to be drawn by things that, it's exciting if you get all the kids, if you're a school teacher, and at the end of the week, you've said, guys, we've got to do this project. We want to beat all the other kids in the other classes. Let's get this project together by the end of the week. Now, everyone's outcome driven, and as you're getting closer, the kids are getting excited about something instead of going on Friday, all right, we've got to get this project done. We're trying to force them to do something as opposed to be inspired to do things.
Big difference, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. And that's, I talk a lot about people's visions. People have a lot of trouble initially finding their vision. And what happens, I find, is sometimes we have to start on the mechanics of it. Oh, what can you do? What have you done in the past? I was talking to one of the clients the other day, and they used to do the frisbee golf. I didn't even know it was a thing, but there you go. There's a frisbee golf. And he'd got to a point where he was very heavy and he could no longer really walk the distance. And so he stopped. And so with him, we decided what he can do is just get started. Don't worry about doing the frisbee golf. No, that's your outcome. But hey, let's just get started. Even if you do, 100 feet on the first day, 200 on the second day, whatever you can do, but you're now outcome driven. Your outcome is, I want to play a game of frisbee golf, but I'm not trying to, starve myself. I'm not trying to do too much exercise. I'm going to pace myself because that's what I want to do. Okay. So so that's how we get outcome driven.
Got it. And a lot of it sounds kind of like you are a proponent of goal setting, even if it may be short term.
Sure. Goal setting is on the way to the outcomes. So the outcome is a vision, and the goal setting. The problem with the goal is that it's got an end point, and that's where a lot of people run into a lot of trouble. So if your goal was to win a world championship, the day after you've won a world championship, you fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
But if your goal is, but if your vision is to, win 3 world championships, or your vision is once you finish your World Championships, you're going to go on to inspire others. So you've already got that underway, and this is part of the whole vision, because the vision can grow. You know, there's no end point to a vision. If you get close to the end point of a vision, you're saying, hey, I can win this World Championships, and then I can go on to win the next one, and I can put it together, you know, and start, so that as you're winning that championships, yeah, you take a break, but you already know what you're doing next. You already have, so the next day you're waking up going, wow, that was great. That goal was a stepping stone, but I'm already on to the next thing. So we're already, moving forward. So very important.
So how do people start? Besides being the grateful, that's number one always, right? The sit down, 3 things that we're grateful for.
Yep. A great test to see if grateful works. If you're not very good at selfies, you always have a frown on your face. Sit down, do 3 things of gratitude first, and then take a picture, and you'll see what it does for you.
Wow,
So,
great example. That's cool.
Yeah, and it really works. So, but yeah, so your first thing is to create a foundation. So, you know, your daily exercises, start living on an outcome based. You know, set that outcome for each day. Set your goals to meet your outcomes, and start living. You know, part of your outcome is your attitude. You know, and at least 1 or 2 times a week with that outcome, make sure it's an attitude thing by the end of the day. By the end of the day, I'm just going to feel great. Regardless of whatever happens, I'm going to feel great. And get in the habit of feeling great. You know, don't do things like, and this is a habit we've got to change, if I achieve my goal, I will feel great. Well, what about if you feel great as you achieve, regardless of whether you achieve your goal or not? You know, like if your goal is to drive across New York City and in an hour and every traffic light's against you, you're never going to get there, but you can have a great time driving across New York City anyway. You know, look how much there is to see. Mm-hmm. And so if you set your attitude first, apart from your accomplishments, it will actually help you achieve your accomplishments. You know, if you're active, if you're positive, positive is a little bit of a funny word, but if you're inspired and you're open to opportunities, you will see them. Opportunities will arrive all around you, but if you're closed up, if you're going, I'm not going to enjoy myself, I'm not going to do anything else until I achieve a goal, there might be 5 opportunities come past that would have helped you achieve your goal, and you're closed off to them.
Got it.
You know, so being open, it's amazing what the difference is. It's just subtle changes makes a big difference.
Gotcha. And where do healthy relationships play into this?
Okay, so when you're on your journey, whatever your journey is, the idea is to, as you go, you will draw people into your inspired outcome, because people love to help other people if they have an outcome in mind. Can I help you with that? There's some people who will be finding ways to trip you up, and you need to be able to go, well, they're not really helping the outcome of my day. So for today, I'm going to minimize my time with that person, mm-hmm. and allow these other people who are inspired by my vision to spend more time with me. And they're the type of relationships which are really important. And it's not always the people that you think are going to be there. But it takes time. But as you build your relationship with yourself, and if you're living in an outcome way, and you're making sure that part of your outcome is to be inspired and to talk about your vision. Talk about your vision as though it's already complete. You know, I'm going to finish this project today, and your boss has said, "Can I do anything to help you?" You know, oh, can you do this for me? And you know, if people know what you're doing, that's a big project. Can I, you know, look after that customer for you? That'd be great. You know, or the kids, can I, you know, what do I have to do to be part of this project? Can you do this? Yeah, I can do that. You know, people will come to the party and they'll ask you questions. And yeah, so that's where the relationships come into it. And yeah, it's personal, it's work, it's all around you. It's getting that steam. There's it's funny, like some people really don't like people who are inspired. And, you know, you come across them. And you know, you're never going to, you can't, what was I going to say? Those people will either come on board and stop being grumpy and just get on board, or they won't. But, you know, that'll sort itself out. But a lot of the time they stop being grumpy and say, oh, okay, there's something on here and I don't mind being part of it, you know? So, yeah, so those relationships, you're the leader. Every person is the leader in their life. You know, you may never have led 50 people before, but if you lead yourself, others will follow. And like true to nature, every one of us is a leader, and we need to take our personal power back and take control of our lives, not live in control, but take control of our outcome. Let life that life is there for us. Life doesn't happen to us. Life is there for us, and allowing that life into our lives as well.
So it's kind of like people will be attracted to someone who is driven, someone who has an aim, a value, something that they want to accomplish. That brings people on board, you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. A great example is, you know, a movie star who's telling you about their movie and they're all excited and they're into it, and everyone gets into it. You know, they laugh, and there's no reason why you can't be that person, you know, and you don't have to be jumping all over the place, but that energy, that, you know, that I'm excited about this is me, you know, this is the way I'm going to live. And, you know, and it'll take a while, but that's okay. You know, it doesn't matter if it doesn't all happen on the first day. It's a process. You've taken 30, 40, 50 years to get here. You know, it might take a few months to change.
Yeah, those are some great tips right there. All right, so what comes next on our way? How do we know we're
On our way.
on the right track? How do we know what is it how people act towards us or with us?
You tend to find you get grounded. The first step is to getting your feet back on the ground. And you know, if you're upset about something you're going through, you know, a relationship breakup, anything like that, it doesn't matter as much anymore as you go forward. You get through the relationship, you work your way through it. You're no longer totally focused on it. You know, one of the things I don't allow people to beat themselves up. That's my job. No, just kidding. But I will challenge you. You know, don't worry, I will challenge you. But I will definitely challenge you not to beat yourself up, because if you're beating yourself up, how is that helping you?
Really?
You know, in any stretch of the imagination, yeah, it never helps you. So, you know, your relationship with yourself will get better. You know, that's the starting point. Your relationship with yourself, with just getting grounded again, getting all areas of your life. So, you know, some people have different ways of behaving when they're depressed, like go and buy a new car or whatever the case. You're less likely to do, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but you're less likely to go and do those things that are just there to help you cope. So you get that grounding and you become that much more balanced person. And that's the starting point, you know, and some people get it straight away and other people take a little bit longer. And some people just keep looking for that balance point and then they get it. You know, there's no straight lines here. You know,
there's no cookie cutter. It's
travels
different
in
for everybody.
waves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every person will find it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. I know we only got a couple minutes left, but how do early influences in our lives affect us on this journey?
It's really amazing. I love talking to people about the earliest kitchen table memories. And, you know, off the top of your head, you probably won't have it. But if you sat down and thought about the very first memories and the what was going on at the table, especially because our parents, if you're in your 50 to 60 range or 60 to 70, our parents were the Depression kids, right? They grew up in the Great Depression. Can you imagine the money story in the Great Depression? You know, we've I think I've spoken about my mum about this before, but it doesn't matter, you know, who it was. The money story from those people would have been, you know, there's no money around. There's people living on the streets. You know, the country's in turmoil. All of that, and then, you know, 30, 40 years later, your parents have figured it out. They've got a great retirement going on, but you're still living in that place. You've never worked through that,
right?
Or and yeah, and and even the way, you know, we were disciplined back then compared to now, compared to, you know, what our parents did. So discipline was a lot harsher back then for a lot of people, and it's yeah, it was like a lot of us thought it was normal to get beaten up. But anyway, but it's and it's not, by the way.
Right,
You know?
right.
But yeah, but they're the type of traumas that we have to work through. But it's also, you know, it's but that's all part of being grounded as well. But it's dealing with those past things, and as teenagers, all the stuff that we go through as teenagers. It's that period there where it's really important to get the balance back into life.
Yeah.
Okay. To be real with yourself, you know, as a teenager, you know, we can remember all the bad spots, or we can get real about it. You know, some people, when we're young, sometimes we felt like everything was against us. But then when we think back, you know, our grandparents loved us.
Yeah.
Or our parents loved us, but they were always at work. But they weren't at work because they wanted to avoid us.
Right. They were doing what they had to do. Yeah.
Yeah, but not everyone sees it that way. Not everyone remembers it that way.
Yeah.
Some people remember it as, oh, Dad was never home.
Right.
Well, Dad was never home because he was out working, but I wanted him home.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and we have to deal with that stuff. We have to work our way through it and be honest with ourselves, you know. And
Andrew Dale. Andrew Dale, great points here. The coach. Andrew, tell people how to get a hold of you, and then anything you want to leave the audience with. Great information. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My website's andrewjdale.com, and we actually do a free clarity session. It takes a bit over half an hour normally, so you can go on there and you can have a look at the website and book in the free session. And what we do is we unpack a lot of those moments to see if this is something that can help you. So so come along, have the free clarity session. And it's all about you. Like the whole purpose, obviously, 90% of it's about, can we help you? Tell us what's going on. And then my email address is info@andrewjdale.com. And my phone number, 410-991-8119. My message for everyone is, we forget how much time we've got left. If you're 50 or if you're 40, there's plenty of people in their 90s going up to 100 who have lived a full life for all of that time. So, you're nowhere near the end. You're just at the beginning of the rest of your life, and why not make the most of it? Why not, be inspired? You can do amazing things anytime you want. It's about it's about being inspired for yourself. What can you do? But whatever you're doing now, whether you work with me or someone else, it doesn't matter. Let's see if we can make the most out of your life. Get out there but even start with those simple exercises that we talked about today. They are life-changing just by living in an outcome focused area, talking as though things are completed before. As soon as you decide on your vision, talk as though it's already here. Talk as though you're that person. You're the person who's finished the project. You're the person who's inspiring the kids. You're the person who's winning at whatever sport you're winning at. And walk like you're the winner, It does work because your mind is an amazing thing and it's very powerful. And by using our mind, letting things go, you'll be amazed at what happens.
Awesome. Guys, that's Andrew Dale. Thank you so much, and everyone will be right back. Thank you, Andrew.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.